Welcome to the Hawks Nest live stream show. My name is Brandon Kane, and I welcome you on in as ever. You Seahawk playoff fans, come on in here as we're going to get to discuss some beautiful playoff football here, moving our way through the midpoint of this week with that 49er game soon on the horizon. And as I sit here on my Wednesday and contemplate this upcoming game and all of the potential ways this great Seahawk team potentially could win this game, I'm just struck by all the talk that exists out there. Oh, I hear it from every corner of the country. Every little national pundit, the Seahawks have no chance, they say. The Seahawks shouldn't even be in the playoffs, they keep piping on about. Oh, the Niners will boat race them off the football field, they say. Niner fans everywhere. Oh, we've got the easiest path to the playoffs in NFL history. In NFL's, no one else has ever had a slip slide like pathway to the Lombardi Trophy. It's quite amazing. And I just can't help but feel like maybe a few people might be counting their ducks or chickens or whatever the hell it is that hatches out of a damn egg. Because you know what? I just keep feeling like I feel like I'm having some deja vu. I do. I feel a little bit of a deja vu going on here on a couple of different levels. That's what makes it really odd. I feel deja vu from the start of this season because it's these same people that are saying we don't belong in there, or we shouldn't be in the playoffs, we shouldn't be on the field with the Niners. The same folks that were saying that now were the same folks who had us dead and buried in the preseason. Before the preseason had even started, before a football had been thrown, they said they're dead and gone. And now they're going to tell me that we got no chance. Now I got to believe them on that weak sauce stuff, that easy take. So simple, so easy. And so I'm going to do a show today built around some very key points as to how our Seahawks team can win this football game. And you might call me a dreamer, as they often do. You might say, Brandon, you're just heads up in the clouds, man. You know, take your finger, put your mouth, put up in the air. Read the wind, brother. Read the cyclone-like wind that's a-blowing down there in San Fran. Don't you know? And I say to them, that's the same stuff you people were telling me this off-season. That's the same stuff I was hearing endlessly as I made that argument through the spring saying, hey, everybody's saying we're this. Everybody's absolutely sure we're this right here. They're saying we're this. We're like the Texans bad, is what they're saying. And they were so sure. And they said it, and they beat that hammer over and over again. And just because you say something a lot of times, don't make it true. And they were wrong this offseason, weren't they? They can make every little bit of endless excuse as to who could have ever seen this coming? Who could have ever have known something like this was even little possible? I never said this team was going to be great, but I said there was a pathway to the playoffs, and I built a 6-long period of live stream shows around that very subject. And I'm sure for many people, they were thinking, oh, he's just trying to create content here, No, I'm not. This Seahawks team has an absolute shot to win this game. And no, not just because they have to beat us 3 times in a row and 3 times in a single year and how hard that is. Yes, that's a bit of a process, but because we got a true shot in this game. And all those people out there that are so sure we're going to lose by a couple of touchdowns, let me try to build my argument. Let me try to put together a little bit of a method as to how the Seahawks can win this game. And it's going to go a lot further beyond than the normal would be with this, where you go, okay, we got to run the ball. We got to stop their run. That's it. I think it's going to take more. I acknowledge the fact this is a tough 49er team. This is not a team that you're just going to walk in there and just kind of, it's going to take a lot of things to go right. But stuff in the NFL like this can happen. A lot of things can go right like that. And the things that go to right, I think, are very specific items, not generalized things like simply just, okay, stop the run. Run yourself. Those certainly will be a part of the process to this, but that won't be everything. So let's go through this. I've got 9 points. 9 points these are the 9 keys in this game to me that if we can do these things along this game, we win this football game, in my opinion. I think we walk away with it. And I do think that cyclone conditions that are about to undertake here are going to potentially level this playing field a little bit. I do believe that as well. I think both teams will be impacted here, but There's Niners running game with how it tries to work a lot of the lateral, working things laterally with explosion and speed. That's something that gets cut down when you can't get your footing quite right or quite as secure as you normally can. Starts to then now go back to a little more strength, power, all that sort of stuff starts to be a little bit more important. And certainly we played them in San Francisco in that first game with the weather conditions, wet, and we didn't do all the greatest in that one. But there were also some things we did in that game to sort of shoot ourselves in the foot a little bit, especially from the coaching standpoint, which I don't expect them to do again. So let's go with my 9 keys here to a Seahawks victory. And again, you may think that I'm putting these together just as a pie in the sky, but again, go back and look at my offseason videos where I talked about the fact and built my case. I built it brick by brick. Brick by brick, I said, here's how we can be better than all of these people are saying we can't be. I'm tired of hearing the talk. We're a playoff team. We won 9 games. We deserve to be here. And that Niner team right now has all the pressure in the world on them. We got our coach rolling a scooter through the freaking Renton headquarters. He's, they're out there dancing in the headquarters. They're light and free and easy. This is all bonus, right? So let's operate like that. First thing out the gate, this is a little bit towards the stop the run, but there's a specificity towards stopping this run, which would be towards stacking the box here as my first key out the gate. I think that this is something that sometimes goes against what the coaching staff wants to do, especially with the new cover 2 high shell stuff, which leads to probably a little bit more of the cover 2 like defenses. But if I'm Coach Carroll this week, I'm looking to slide heavy and wholly into a lot of the cover 3 like looks, which are then going to allow that strong safety to come up into the box, give you the 8th defender in the box, that little bit of extra help down there, make it even more tough sledding, especially in these conditions. The Niners are going to want to run all that much more. Bring that extra defender down there to help out. It doesn't guarantee that you're going to stop the run. This Niner rushing attack can still get the best of you, even with that 8th man in the box. But it puts pressure on them at that point to try to start leaning on Purdy to throw the ball. And I think I'm not going to be as worried about in this game Purdy and his arms, or I'm going to try to make Brock Purdy beat me, essentially. Make the 7th round rookie beat you. And I think you can go a long way to doing that by stacking up this box, really taking the firm steps towards stopping the run. Again, there's other ways they've got to attack you. This doesn't in itself stop everything, but leaning away from 7-man boxes, let's say, I would probably not like to do that as much. Or going into cover 2 shell defenses, Purdy's not going to be throwing deep down the field on you in these elements. So squeeze things up tightly up front. Squeeze up that tight eight guys, and that will, I think, help to stop the run in this particular game. I do see we have a couple donations. I will be getting to you guys on the donos, so I might be a little behind on it. I just want to do my initial thing on this. So if I am behind on the donos, I will catch up to it. I do promise you on that. Number 2, and this is in tandem a little bit with number 1 on stacking the boxes. What I like about stacking the boxes as well is that you get to show blitz-like fronts. You get to make the quarterback think at times, is there an extra guy coming? That safety in the box isn't just standing behind the linebacker. He's taken a couple steps past the linebackers, and he's now up in a gap here. He's in the C gap. I gotta be aware of this a little bit. And I think with Purdy, you want to get him thinking. Get the rookie thinking. Seahawks didn't do a lot of that in the first matchup. He started out 11 for 11 in that football game. 11 for 11, with you just sort of sitting back into what we're going to do what we do. Just going to do what we do. We do our soft zones, and we're going to just run our light coverage and kind of feel you out. Like, I don't think you can afford to kind of do that with him in this particular game. And the defense did play better, I think, in that second game against the Niners than the first. But after he went 11 for 11 passing in that football game, you finally brought a blitz, caused an incompletion. Then the second play after that, the very next play after that, you showed another heavy stacked front, dropped out of it, caused another incompletion. I think the coaching staff's going back and looking at that film on Brock Purdy. They're going, okay, we were going everything light here and soft, brought a little bit of a pressure look. That made him uncomfortable, as is likely to happen with a rookie quarterback, right? Who's only had a handful of starts. Make it uncomfortable for him. Make him beat you. Make him beat you throwing down the football field. Don't let him dink and dunk, squeeze those routes. The Niners don't exactly have the burners on the outside that are known for getting up the football field and beating you on 9 routes over the top. So don't be as scared of those routes as you normally are within the contextual basis of your defense. Toss a little bit of that away this week and understanding your opponent really doesn't have that exactly in their bag. They're going to keep it to short and intermediate, and they're going to try to stretch things laterally every bit as much as normal teams would maybe try to stretch it vertically. So this is straightforward 1 and number 2. Don't let them beat you in the run game. Make Purdy beat you throwing and make him make some tough throws. Make him make some NFL throws. Number 3, remain a balanced offense, even when painful. This is going to be the hard one at times, because at times this year you have been so much better at throwing the football than you have been at running the ball. And so there's that pull and that draw. There's no Rashad Penny. I don't know where Travis Homer is health-wise, but and even DJ Dallas, I think, has probably gotten through a couple of different things himself. So there's definitely a lean even more to maybe trying to throw the ball a bit here. But you don't want to go into the teeth of this Niners defense that's playing into their hands a little bit to do that. I think you got to keep them honest in the running game, where they can't just pin their ears back as a pass rusher and come after you. I think it helps to keep the game close doing that as well. And it's also going to be key to one of my other points as we go down the line on this, which is time of possession, another spot we'll touch on. So you've got to stay into this, even if it's sometimes 2 and 3 yards in a cloud of dust. This is a game where you instruct Walker. A very key point that came out of last week's game was, Carroll talking about how at halftime they kind of was telling Walker, just, stick it up in there and go. No, not really any dancing, no hesitation. Get the ball, take it up, go. Don't do any of this stuff where you're letting the defense really, flow to you at that point. Just use that quickness and that extra gear that you've got as Walker does kind of learn his way through this rookie year and still running outstanding, but that he was a little bit more useful and effective, it felt like, in that second half. I think you tell him to do more of that in this type of game, where you're like, we need more of the 3 yards in this than we need the 25-yard run after 3 carries of a -1 and a 2 we just need to keep getting into positions where you get into 3rd and shorts, especially in these rainy conditions. You get into 3rd and 8. Those are going to be tough type of plays to complete. So again, remaining balanced even when it's painful, and there's going to maybe be times where it's going to be painful. Number 4, win the turnover battle. Both of the 2 games that you have lost to the 49ers this year, you've lost the turnover battle. And that's going to be, I think, the big one here is that it'd be great to force turnovers, but you've also got to have these players, especially in these elements, in the rainy elements where it's easy fumbles to slip out and all that. And I'm sure even if guys are trying to protect up, we're going to see some fumbles if those conditions are like that. But nonetheless, they've got to be clean with this. And this really falls on Geno as much as anybody as far as having the ultimate control on this. You can't have the bad throws out the gate where you throw an interceptable worthy throw within your first 2 passes. You've got to keep clean. You've got to trust what you're seeing out there. You've got to give your team a chance. And if you're throwing a pick 6, if you're throwing and giving them a short field, if you're throwing away a possession, if you're not making that Niner offense with Purdy earn their way up the field, then you're going to probably lose this game. This is a place we've got to win on this point. It's very straightforward. This is a cliche one. But again, when you look at the first 2 games, this is what you lost. And a part of the big part of the reason you lost, especially maybe even that second game where a turnover or 2 could have maybe swung things a little bit in a different direction. Number 5, keep the time of possession close. This is, of course, in tandem with remaining committed to the running game. You look at the first matchup, and you almost had a 2-1 loss on time of possession against the 49ers. And then last game, it got a little bit better, and you were a little bit closer, though you were still behind the ball about 6-7 minutes, something like that, maybe 6 minutes or so in time of possession on that game. So this is going to be a big part of this, keeping our defense, a defense that certainly has had its share of guys beat up, tired, long season. You don't want them out there on the football field for 65% of the snaps in this football game. And the way you do that is by keeping that time of possession. This comes back to running the ball. This comes back to getting yourself in 3rd and shorts to where you can then keep the chains consistently moving and eat enough of that clock to keep things balanced off. If I'm the Seahawks, I'm trying to keep this thing down close into the 4th quarter. If I can jump on top of them early, that'd be great. But if I can just keep this, grind it out, muck it up, just keep it close into the 4th quarter and then see if we can kind of pull it through from there. And I think that keeping the time of possession on that mark will take you there. Number 6, special teams needs to be special. Got to be special. Got to be what they've been all this year, which has been, for all intents and purposes, the number 1 special teams unit in all of football. The advanced statistics seem to back this up. You need your Jason Myers to hit all of his field goals in this game. I don't think you're going to be able to afford to have him go 2 of 3 or even 3 of 4. Dixon's got to be hitting the moon shots that flip the field like he's been able to do at times. Even in the back half of this year, he's had some moments where he's really flipped the field with some of his punts in a way that's helped us out in a big way. And especially in this game, which I expect to be a little bit low scoring simply because of the elements. You're very much going to need your punter then to do what he's doing with that. And certainly we've been good as far as stopping the return game against the opponents. But then we need Ugabuki to then obviously do his thing if he gets his opportunity. And let's face it, he may get his opportunity here because within the elements, it's harder for within the raining elements, it's harder for the kickers to get as much distance on kickoffs. So now your kick returner is going to have more of that opportunity to maybe get a short kick, and do something with it. And he's already had a couple of times where he's come very, very close to breaking one. And what if you could get your kick returner this week to be able to bust one out in a big game like this? Again, just kind of stealing a touchdown here, stealing a possession there. Sometimes that can be all the difference in a game like this, which I expect to be close. But we need the special teams to be what they've been all this year. They're going to be as much a key element as all the stuff I talk about. It's all got to kind of come together in tandem, in my opinion. But I do expect them to be so because that's how they've been all year. I do believe they're the number one unit in football. This one's going to be one that might strike some as a little bit odd. Trick plays are sweet. Now, I know all of you guys think trick plays are sweet. I know some of you are going, well, wait, hold on here, Brandon. Hold on. We tried a trick play in San Francisco with a flea flicker and or a pass back to the quarterback, and then Geno threw it down the field to DK. And DK caught the ball, but then we had one of our linemen downfield, so that didn't turn out too well. And then you had DG Dallas, of course, in that same game, lined up down the football field in the Wildcat look, and then he threw an interception. So from some people's standpoint, they go, it hasn't worked exactly against them so well. Why would you want to do that again? And I would say I would never really want my running back throwing out of Wildcat anyway down by the goal line. The only time you're going to really do that is if you have a guy like Henry with the Titans, right? Who's at where the defense is all in on going after him, and you're going to let that guy leak out the backfield, and you don't have a good enough, dominant enough run game to really cause that in defenses. So that kind of trick play is silly. I'd offer that the throwback pass to DK actually worked. And that what you're trying to do with the trick plays in attacking San Francisco is you have a hyper-aggressive defense that's trying to flow to the football, that's really trying to get that step fast to the football as they can, and that's going to get guys to sometimes overstep and leave the back door open on some things as far as what you sometimes get with the trick plays. And I think that's the reason you've seen the Seahawks try to run it already a couple times against the Niners. I think they should try it again here. I think if it's in whatever form that does take, maybe it's a fake punt. But this is, again, a game where, in my estimation on this, you don't have a lot to lose here in this game. Why not lay it on the line? And this is the way you attack aggressive defense like this that might have a little bit of a penchant. And the 49ers are a great defense. It's not a bad thing to say they're so over-aggressive. That's part of what makes them as good as they are, is they get to that spot quicker than your average defense. They look a step faster than your average defense. And in certain respects, they are, but it's also that aggression. It's also that trust in my guy's going to rally with me, and we're not going to leave any real holes open here. But this is where it could kind of open up for you, in my opinion, is if you try a little bit of the trick plays, go back to it. I think it's a solid path, solid approach. And I think, again, you don't have to do it a lot. Just work it in a little bit. And at the very least, even if it doesn't work, it will keep the San Francisco Niners a little bit more honest, defensively speaking. Number 8, fear not the long bombs of San Francisco, because there aren't long bombs in San Francisco. I question whether or not Brock Purdy is going to be able to push this ball 45 yards up the field if it is indeed raining. I do. Maybe he will. Maybe he had like a crow step hop into it. He could maybe get it up the field like that. But in the elements and the rain and the wind, this is not a game where I want to, again, be in cover 2 looks or cover 4 looks. Dropping guys, all these guys deep because I'm so worried about a deep ball that's never going to come. If you guys think about it, how many times do you guys remember this year of one of our corners getting beat over the top on a 9 route? How often? Not too often, huh? Certainly Tariq's been a big part of that. Jackson's played solid as that deep corner and staying clean over the top. But some of it is also a little bit of your commitment to keeping those deep balls clean, to being worried about it, to keeping it at the forefront of your mind. And what I'm trying to say here is that this is not a game to keep that at the forefront of your mind. The elements, the lack of maybe arm strength that you're getting from the quarterback position in this game, and as far as where he can really truly attack you in, should lead you to tighten things down a little bit more and not worry as much about those bombs on the back end. This is why I'm calling for a little bit more cover 3. Maybe even a God forbid some stuff where you're maybe even tightening up a little bit of the corners as well, where they're not running cover 3 on the outside. You got the safety running, cover 1 or something like that on just, he's kind of your center field guy to keep it cleaned up, but you're letting everything else kind of run free up in front of them. But I just hope that they're a little bit more aggressive in that respect in this game, to pressing down on that a bit, because I think that could go far in this game of don't worry about the thing where they're not going to attack you. Shanahan's not trying to hit you deep down the field. I've had whole games what we've seen against the Niners and the Seahawks where Shanahan hasn't even instructed his quarterback once to take a shot deep down the football field. It's just not something that Shanahan sort of acknowledges that Carroll is he's going to be safe in that approach. He's not going to allow me to have that. So I've got to attack everywhere kind of else. This would be a game to kind of flip that, I would think. Because again, I don't trust Purdy to hit you down the field. I don't. So hopefully my thing didn't just cheese out on me. My stream just stopped for some reason. So can you guys hear me okay? Am I still coming through all right? Hopefully so. Sorry, I just noticed my stream like froze. And indeed it did. We can hear you. Yeah, I'm frozen, but let's see if maybe I can hit a refresh on this. Sorry guys, 1 second. Let's see what's going on here. That's weird. Okay, hang on here, guys. Let me try to, we got you on. Maybe I can find a way to, here's to, okay, hold on. Okay. It's all good. It's good. Take your time. Yep. Sorry. Yep. We lost our deal on this. So I've got to see what's going on here. I had a restart last night on some update and I don't know what it did, but I don't like it. I don't like it. Well, we may have to restart this, but let me see. Hold on. Come on. Maybe I just need to do the camera. Sorry, guys. Bear with me. I appreciate you hanging in here. This is the beauty of live stream. Yeah, the whole thing just kind of froze down on it. So let's see, is this it? Well, it says my quality's good, so I don't know what the hell happened here. Definitely having some computer slowdowns before, so I don't know if there's something running in the background or what. Bear with me, folks. And again, I might just address a couple of donations because we might have to just restart on this if it's not going. So hold on. Sorry about this. Boy, oh boy, I don't even. So I guess we'll have to figure out what's going on here soon. Okay, hang on here with me, folks, please. Again, thank you so much. We'll probably just restart this. I do want to address a couple of the donations I got before I do so. So let's at least grab that and then we'll see what's going on. I hope this doesn't happen on Saturday. Oh my goodness. Come on, how do I get the feed? See if maybe I can close it up like this. Boy, I don't know what happened with it. Okay, let's get a couple. I got a couple donations in here, so let me address those really quickly out the gate. Sorry about that. Megan with a $20 donation. Thank you, Megan. Says, I'm getting nervous. Let's go Hawks. You should get nervous, Megan. That's absolutely the appropriate reaction in these kind of playoff situations. That's playoff football, Megan. You know what I mean? That's what it's kind of all about in that respect of things. So, yeah, let me see if I can. No, it's... Boy, that feed just froze up. But that's playoff football for you, Megan, as far as it's a good feeling. It's a healthy feeling. And wait till you get to Saturday morning. You're going to be jumping up and down like, nobody's business in that respect of things. So, man, I wonder what the hell happened here. What the hell happened here? There's just no way to fix it either. Sorry, you go to try the following. Yeah, it wants me to like restart PC stuff. I'm trying to see if there's a fix online for it to do it like just as a deal with it. So, but there's no way without exactly saying just restart, I guess. So I'm going to have to try to see what's up here. If we can kind of fix it. But Megan, thank you for the $20 donation. And again, completely healthy, good feeling to have as far as this team's concerned, as far as worrying about the upcoming. And we will restart, folks, if we have to on this. So sorry again about this, but I'm not really sure what's happening, to be honest with you. Just kind of not. Let's see here. Properties. Yeah, no dice. No dice. Okay. I want my money back too. Haha, just kidding. Try to stream like your screen or something. See if that fixes it. Yeah, maybe that'll work. Maybe I add another source here. Let's try camera. Let's try another camera here. Video. Sorry, folks. It's the beauty of live feed here. Configure view. HCam. Let's see here. Yeah, it's toasty, I think, here. We'll try it. Yeah, it's not letting me. Tried that. Frozen here like Chuck Cross. Yep, let me get a couple other the donations here, and we'll just restart. So, I guess the only thing I could try on this. Megan with another $20 donation. Thank you, Megan. My goodness. If you told me at the start of the season that we would make the postseason after the trade, I would have laughed at you. But here we are, proving everyone wrong. Indeed, Megan, we are. It's one that I enjoy seeing too, that we're able to surprise people in such a major fashion. Of course, happening at the same time as Denver's having their problems is awesome. Nobody's minding that in the least. So I've definitely enjoyed that part of the process with the Megan. It has been good there, but yeah. God, this is driving me nuts with this, that this isn't active. But hopefully that's why I say we can still shock things right now. Well, it's not necessarily for sure that we're, aren't going to be able to get this done at this point. So, yeah. What happened with my stream here? Come on. They need to give you a refresh button that you can hit that like refreshes it through. I might just end up having to go straight through the YouTube portal here eventually with this thing because it's so dicey. Video, come on. Yeah, it just doesn't want to go. I don't know what happened. Megan, thank you for the jackback $20 donation. Sorry, I'm not able to see me on screen here as it went a little bit kitty wampus, but what are you going to do on it? So appreciate you. Thank you so much. Guard Knight says, Brando, will the officiating be more questionable than what the Lions faced versus the Packers on Sunday for the Hawks? Will be more questionable what the Lions faced? I mean, maybe Garth. I think that the NFL was more about, I don't think that Niners are definitely, I guess, a somewhat favored organization a little bit, but I don't think that they're going to get the kind of calls that like a Packer would versus the NFL wanting to have the Seahawks in the, not wanting to have the Seahawks in the playoffs versus having the Packers in the playoffs. I think that it was way more for them. They knew there were going to be bigger ratings nationally with the Packer 49er than the Seahawk 49er game. I think that they were counting on that a little bit more. Say nothing if Aaron Rodgers did go on some kind of run there, because that is a big ticket item for them versus us, not a big ticket item. I don't know if they're as entrenched on that with the Niners, especially with Purdy. I think that they're probably looking to Eagles, or their ideal would probably be the Eagles or like Tampa Bay getting back in there or something, somewhere along that round, or maybe even the Cowboys. I don't know. But yeah, they're not, I don't think, as invested in the Niners don't get, I don't think that kind of benefit necessarily. Carl Nearney, thank you for the $5 donation, Carl. Appreciate you guys hanging on with me. And if you're in here right now, the stream did freeze up as far as the video goes. So I've got to reset some things here and try to get this back. But we will indeed try to get this right back here in just a sec after I just get through the donations. So no more donations for a second, folks. Okay. No more donations for just a sec. We will restart the stream up. We'll get it running back through here. But let me get through the end of these, and then I will, I'll restart this back up and through, and then we can kind of get this back going up again so you can see my lovely face. Maybe it's better you don't see my face, actually, now that I think about it. Carl, thank you, though, for the $5 donation. He says, love you, Brandon. Breath, it's been fine. Breath, it's fine. Love you, Brandon. It's fine. Been a great year. Can't wait to beat the Niners. I can't wait to beat the Niners either, Carl. And it has been such a fun year. I've said to you guys once, I'll say it again. It's been one of my favorite years as far as being able to follow the Hawks, say nothing to be able to follow the Hawks and do this live stream coverage stuff at the same time. To be able to surprise so many people, to have so many games that were fun and entertaining. And we've had some games over the past few years that just, haven't been fun, haven't been entertaining. And so it is nice now to be able to come back to that and go, just about every game this year, even ones that were a little bit tough, there were those moments where, or at least most of the game, where you felt pretty good, about what was going down. So Appreciate you though, Carl. Thank you for the $5 donation. I appreciate you guys hanging on with me too with the stream troubles. I think I might just stream direct on Sunday through the YouTube platform. So I think we'll have some diciness here with the Streamlabs one. Freshman Prime, Fresh Prime. Thank you for subscribing to the channel, Fresh Prime. I do appreciate it. Welcome aboard the Hawks Nest. Scarecrow Bar 66 with a $2 donation says, everyone else seeing the stoned male blow up doll? It caught me at a weird time, okay? It caught me at a weird angle, Scarecrow. It's a weird angle. It's funny. Fish Quest with a $2 donation says, preach, Brother Kane. Eventually. I'll get around to it here, Fish Quest. I will, man. Paul Third with a $5 dono says, some are surprised. I don't know, Brando. Some of us Rust truthers feeling pretty vindicated after making the playoffs and Geno breaking the yardage record. As folks in that lane should feel. You know, I think, look, when you're right about something like that and you're that right about something that so many people were enforced telling you that you were wrong about, I think that that's to be it's understandable that you then kind of stick your chest down and go, look, we called this one right. I was seeing it clear. I was seeing it true. And vindication is absolutely correct. When Geno puts together not just one, not just two, 3, 4 different Seahawks records that he set. Yes, the extra game does help, certainly, but nonetheless, he set those records. And the fact the very first quarterback you go to after leaving on to Russ sets those records, absolutely should supply some vindications for folks like yourself, Paul, that feel like you do about this situation. And looking at it like, hey, we're trying to tell you guys about him that there was some holding back here with Russ. Not he's a whole bad player, but there are some aspects here that are being held back on this team and what's going on with it. All right. I'm gonna try to reset this stream, I think, here. Hold on one last try on a couple of little items here. Let me see if there's a way. OBS. How to refresh stream. Refresh Streamlabs by swiping down as you swipe. Let's see. I'd like to not have to restart the whole thing on you guys here. Let's see if I can find something. Most of these are probably going to be that I got to... Sorry, folks. One sec. We're going to restart here, but I want to make sure maybe there's a way I can just do over and do it here. Yeah, nobody's having, I guess, the same problem I'm having on this, so easy search of it did not work. Okay, so we'll just try to maybe see if we can restart this sucker and hopefully don't have the same issue go on here. So I'll probably maybe just do a direct through the YouTube app here tonight until I can figure out what's going on with it, because it's not letting me. It'll just give you a simple, here's a refresh button, just push right through. I can do that. No. All right, folks, we'll be right back. I'm going to reset this and get this rolling back for you. So sorry about